Well, hello, friends. What I'd like to talk to you about right now is gratitude. Now, you've probably heard from a lot of different kinds of sources what an amazing practice gratitude is. And I have to say that I was one of those people who heard about it a lot but didn't practice it a lot until just a few years ago. And the reasons that I practice gratitude have a lot to do with what I've learned about the way our brain works. See, our brain is wired for survival, and that means that the part of our brain that's always trying to keep us safe is really scanning the environment all the time for any kind of possible threat. And that's what it's really been created to pay attention to. What are the things that are going to get me in danger, that are going to hurt me, that will feel like a threat? And what that means is that at the end of the day, our brain has spent most of its energy and time noticing what's challenging or a struggle or hard in our day. And it really hasn't noticed any of the things that might have been grace or goodness or gift. It's not because those things didn't happen, but it's just because our brain doesn't need to notice those things in order for us to feel safe in the world. But that means that we then have this bias around how our day feels and how we feel in the world. And it's a bias towards all the things that are wrong. And one of the things that a gratitude practice has helped me do is to pause and to stop and notice the things that are actually gift and goodness in the world. And they're there all the time. But if I don't stop and notice them, then that's not the way I see the world. And the way that we see the world, our perception, shapes so much about our mood and our choices and just how we feel in our bodies. And so having a gratitude practice has made a big difference for me in how I engage the world and how I feel about being in it. Now, knowing that a gratitude practice is a good idea and actually practicing it took a little bit of time. And I just want to share with you some of the things that I do in my gratitude practice that really help me. Because one of the things that happens when we start a practice like gratitude is that it can get really boring really quickly. We can say, well, I'm grateful for my partner and my kids, and I'm grateful that I have a house and a job. And then tomorrow, what do I say? Well, I'm still grateful for my kids, and I'm grateful for my dog, and then my house and my job. And it just gets a little bit repetitive. And that actually doesn't help us and help our brain notice that the world isn't always out to get us, but is really often out to gift us. So for me, for the gratitude practice to really be a meaningful thing for me to be engaging in, I have to get what I call really granular. I have to go through my day and I have to get really specific about the things in my day that were gift. So I don't just say I'm grateful for my dog. I have a dog and I love her. And I'm grateful sometimes for the way that she just follows me from room to room and then keeps me company. Or I'm grateful for the way that she pushes her head into my knees when I get home from work. And I don't just say I'm grateful for my partner. I talk about the things about my partner on this day that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the way that we stopped and had time this morning for a cup of coffee and to just even review the day before it began. And sometimes the things I'm grateful for about my partner are the hard things, right? I'm grateful that I have a partner that's willing to have hard conversations. Sometimes the things that I end up writing down that I'm grateful for are the challenging, conflicting moments, and how grateful I am that I have somebody who's willing to go into the weeds with me and is able to stick it out and come out on the other side and give me a kiss before I go to bed, right? So lots of times my gratitudes are actually full of the hard moments that were done well, not just the beautiful things like the way that I saw a hummingbird at the feeder or the way that the person at the grocery store showed a lot of grace to the person in front of me. But those are also examples of what does it mean to be granular? What does it mean for us to get really specific about the things that we're grateful for? If we're grateful that we have a job, what about our job today was a gift? If we're grateful for our children, what engagement or conversation or moment did we have with our kids that today felt like a blessing to me? And what I would say is, if you're going to try to begin a gratitude practice, is that you should look for 5 things every day that you can say in a very specific, granular way. These were gift, these were blessings, these lifted my spirit, these gave me hope. And the reason I say 5 is because the way that our brain is wired is that for every no that we hear, every negative thing that happens, every critical comment that our brain registers, we have to hear 5 affirmations, 5 good things before we feel like we're balanced. So I would encourage you, if you don't already have a gratitude practice, to take some time this summer, find yourself a notebook or a journal, and at the end of every day, write down 5 beautiful things about your day and write them down. It's not enough to think of them in your mind. It really makes a difference when you put them on a page. And if you want to know what it can look like, every night before I go to bed, on my Facebook page, Mary Lehman's Facebook page, I list at least 5 beautiful things or God moments in my day. And you'll get to see there what it looks like to get granular in your gratitude. Blessings as you try it.